Okay, I got some sounds. We can get started here. And this day, of course, is Wednesday, October 25th. And see who is there. Who joined me. Glad to see you there, Libby. And let me pop us down here to today's session. And you have a couple of assignments that are due. This is, of course, some of the housekeeping we need to do. You've got an interactive session that's due on the 27th. The same thing with a hands-on project on project number 8 that's due on the 27th, and then chapter 9. Now, Monday, I went through and showed everybody some information about some of the types of products that are out there in terms of enterprise resource planning and things like customer relationship management. And of course, this chapter talks about how we take these different systems, okay, and unify them and engage in what we call enterprise resource computing and enterprise resource planning. And I really like the little picture that's at the bottom, page 347 at the start of the chapter, because it really does put into perspective what is going on there. And it starts with supply chain management, then customer relationship management, and those are two external kinds of things. And then the manufacturing resource planning, if you have to do that, if you are a manufacturer, although some of those MRP systems can be could be adapted to use, say, by a company that's a distributor or an assembler, and then a finance, resource management, and an HR system. So it's tying all those systems together and bringing them so that you get some business solutions. And that, of course, over on page 349, they talk about that in terms of achieving two things: operational excellence and customer intimacy. And that's what an ERP system is designed to do. And those of you who've had the data admin course with me, or are taking it, have heard me speak over and over again about the data warehouse concept. Well, ERP or enterprise resource computing, or whichever term you would use, is taking the disparate, taking all the data warehouses and linking them all together and into a series of what we would say some fact tables, stuff that can be harvested and can be used. And they talk about how those operate over on page 350. That's in figure 9.1, and that centralized database that ties everything together. Now, I'm going to have to say that admittedly, that's a realm that I've not worked in. Ms. Turnage, who was here, was really an expert. And she had worked at Walmart in their ERP unit. And when you've done that, there's nothing really that replicates that experience. And so I understand how those work, and I've worked within those systems, but putting them together, keeping them running, and all that is something that just simply is beyond the realm of what my experience base is. But it does bring up something very important for us to talk about. And first of all, it brings us into some of the decisions that we have to make, some of the choices that we have to make. And I have a resource here for you, and this is the world according to a Coase. And you may or may not have heard of someone named Ronald Coase, all right? But Mr. Coase was awarded the Nobel Prize in economics. And he was awarded that primarily on the basis of what was now known as Coase's law, and that is that a company or any organization will outsource any type of work if it's cheaper to do so than to do it inside. And when we have in economics, when you have what we call transaction costs, okay, you attempt to minimize those. If you buy something from Amazon, you attempt to get stuff as fast as you can at the cheapest price you can. Amazon wants to send it to you in a time frame that meets your needs and is as cheap as possible. So there's a transaction cost. And the reason that Amazon hasn't bought FedEx is, number one, they don't have the money. And number two, they recognize that FedEx is a beautiful place to outsource the delivery of their stuff. UPS as well. Sometimes even the United States Post Office. So this idea, Costa's law, has been one that has been applied and often misapplied. And one of those things that says, if we're a large corporation, we have our own law, we have a legal unit, but it would be cheaper to outsource it to the legal unit. We do it. And so this is all trying to mitigate these internal transaction costs, or one might say the friction, so that we can do two things: get operational excellence, which means we do the best we can at the lowest price we can, and there's optimize, and at the same time establish customer intimacy. And I talked some about that Monday, about some of the things that we can do. Now, I went ahead and I found some. I've identified some more resources for you. I'm going to go ahead and publish that, this, and this, so you can see them. Not just from not from my screen, but from yours. And I want to talk about this for just a minute, because it's a nice summation of what mass customization is all about. Okay, and this is from HBR. And it's an article well worth your time, well worth your read. And they talk about the four approaches. And of course, one of the first they start is letting customers conduct a dialogue with individual customers to help them articulate their needs. Okay, and I talked some about that, of some of my experiences. And you'll see this occur in a lot of ways. This is one of those approaches. Again, if you go back to the front of the top of this chapter, the very first page, second page of this chapter, you see that little puzzle, and you see that whole idea of customer relationship management. And that's talking about conducting a dialogue with customers to find out what they want. Okay, the precise offering to meet their needs. And this is one of the first approaches of mass customization. Now, this is completely the opposite. If I've been teaching you business 100 years ago, okay, we would have been talking about standardization, and we have been talking about the assembly line and the ability to manufacture large portions of goods. Henry Ford is famous for having said, when he first started making the Model A, which he made on the assembly line, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. Okay, and of course now you get all kinds of choices of interior colors and all that stuff. But he wasn't interested in mass customization. He was interested in mass production. So that's been a change. Okay. I don't remember this at all, but my grandparents, as I spoke with them, my late grandparents, they remembered a time when you made clothes at home, and rarely did you buy clothes from a store. I remember my grandfather saying the very first so-called store-bought clothes he ever got, he bought them. They were purchased from a Sears catalog. And then they were shipped to some general store near the family farm, and they went and picked it up. And that's just that type of. That's the difference as things have changed. The mentality of people. People want more customization. So one of them is collaboration with customers, and the second is. The other is this notion that people can alter a product themselves. In other words, they can buy something and alter it, play around with it. If you notice today, especially if you buy a high-end vehicle or an SUV, you'll see these little flaps on the steering wheel, and they're paddles. And what they're intended to be, for example, if you have if you own an SUV that's a crossover, or maybe you own a Jeep or something like that, you'll see those paddles, and they're designed to give you the effect you'd have if you're using an old-fashioned shifter. So if you're going through snow or mud or stuff like that, you can play with the gears just like you would. Or if you had the gears, say, like on the handles on a motorcycle, you could gear up and then gear it down. And that's just one of those things that lets people change or alter the look of things. Obviously, a phone, okay, a computer, you can put your own screen on it. A phone, you can add your own apps. So what this means is you use the product as almost like it's a plate, okay, or a platform, if you want to say that, and you let the consumer or the end user build what they want on top of it, okay? And it's another way that occurs is, if you go and buy most of you probably have cut the cord by now if you ever had it. If you go and you buy cable, they're going to give you menus to choose. So I like this channel. I want this package or that package, etc. So it doesn't matter to Cox Cable, what channel movie packages, for example, premiums I might buy. They're going to offer what they offer, and if I take them, fine. If I don't, I don't. Someone else down the road will take them. And we see this with intellectual property, particularly. And again, here's a really silly thing. It's kind of silly. Karaoke machines. Those are really a good example of where you can take and customize for yourself a product. So that's another one of those hallmarks of mass customization. And this point right here about and they talk about cosmetic customizers presenting a standard product but presenting it differently to different customers. And if you take what they're talking about, it's the packaging of the product, or how it's presented, or how it's sold. And I'll give you a really good example would be automobiles. Okay, if you buy an automobile, you can have all kinds of packages added to it, and it's the same car essentially. It's being packaged to you in some different ways, and again, and it might be communicated in some different venues, and they give you such the idea about products like embellished T-shirts, sweatshirts, and they talk about Planners Company, what they do, okay, in terms of their products, and then transparent customizers. They provide customers with unique goods or services without letting them know that those products and services have been customized for them. And that's one of those that as they mention here in this article, it's really more the realm of physical kinds of products where people are sold maybe different chemical mixtures that perform certain functions or additives, things of that nature, and they're customized, but the customer really does not see them or notice it. Now, one of the ways that that's done with food products, I know that for sure, is in portion. And I don't know how many times, I don't know the last time that I walked into say an On-Q or a place like that and said, gee, am I going to get the 11-ounce package of Doritos, Cool Ranch, or am I going to get the 5? or am I going to get family size? I'm not thinking about that. I'm going to grab some, okay? And that's already been pre-planned for me, okay? So the article goes on and talks about challenges and the ways to those things to approach. And I really like this little quadrant that they provide you there, okay, in terms of changing and not change versus no change in terms of approaches to customization. I think this is an article that's really well worth your time, and I hope you'll take a look at it, because they really do a fine job of giving you some good examples, explaining it. And again, it's Harvard Business Review. They're going to give you some great ideas, and this is what's going on out there in the business world with the finest minds. Okay, now I have a link here, and this is from the Huffington Post. This talks about 3 reasons why mass customization is the future of consumer products, okay? So not just business product. And the notion that every customer is their own market, okay? And the consumers are more expressive. They want more self-expression. And all I can say is, I think the one place you see that with people your age is probably with shoes, and with clothing, because that's probably what you're spending the most on, and a lot of it about self-expression. Hey, the body art industry is all about that, okay? And I know that everybody has their feelings about body art. I can tell you that there's some entities that there's some businesses, if you walk in there and you have a bunch of body art, they don't even want to talk to you, or you got a ring in your nose or something like that. And I would have to say that all of it, that you there at school are extremely clean cut looking people, so you don't come in with a lot of body art and stuff like that. However, that's one of those examples where people really feel like that they can that they can express themselves. Loyalty programs. My wife is just a loyalty program warrior. She is all about those, and feels like if she trades with somebody, she buys stuff from somebody, she should get rewarded. And so that's one of those ways that mass customization, especially with products, is coming into effect. Now, I thought it would be interesting, and before I do this, I wanted to alert you to this download. I have a Word doc for you that has links to several excellent TED Talks. Now, let me again, download it to your desktop, then go to the link. Okay, that's what we call a commons fair usage. Okay, and the TED knows that people are out there. They know that people like me use this, so we're not anything wrong. But to be absolutely certain that we're okay, download it to your desktop, the document, then go over there. And there's some interesting stuff about the shipping industry and how the next manufacturing revolution is here. Some really excellent talks. And again, these are experts in their field, okay? These talks are 15 to 20 minutes, 17, 18 minutes at the very most. There are transcripts there for you in multiple languages if English is not your first language. So you could look at the transcript. And so I'm going to challenge you to look at these, okay? And I'm not going to give you a test or an examination over them, but when students say, well, gee, the professor didn't challenge me intellectually. Well, I am. I'm challenging you to reward yourself, okay, and invest in yourself by looking at these and read the transcript, which you can do that, and try to see what are these folks trying to communicate to us, and how does this fit in with MIS. And certainly the shipping industry and warehousing, you're going to find the distribution, because we ultimately have to get stuff to people. So a huge piece of MIS is supply chain management. Okay. And then here's another about the company data in the manufacturing revolution, and what we call scalable, or what we call new types of manufacturing models. So you'll want to take a look at those. And again, there's probably 25 or 30 minutes in there of them that I would encourage you to see. And I consider that like a guest lecture or TED or time for you. So if I had someone in, and it's not because I'm lazy and I want to teach you, it's simply this: if you can tap into these people and you can hear what they have to say for free, it's a fantastic opportunity. And TED was created for this very type of thing, to give people access to the kinds of thought leaders, the kinds of really brilliant people that you might never encounter. And I remember when I was a graduate student, and I did some work for one of my professors, and what we did was we worked with them on helping them develop a training center, and then they were going to go out and find world leading experts. Well, the people they wanted to come in and talk, were commanding pretty good size chunks of money. Okay. And if you've ever been to one of these things where they'll have a bunch of well-known people and they'll come to Oklahoma City and they speak, or you've read, and like President Clinton. Well, former President Obama went to somewhere on Wall Street and talked. I don't know, he's there and gave a speech. I only got $600,000. And you and I aren't going to be sitting there with our espresso on the on the 85th floor there in Manhattan, listening to what he has to say. So TED is for normal people like you and me who are busy. We got stuff to do, and we want to find out what's the latest thinking. And I'd say if you really want to see the latest thinking of some of these folks and see some good ideas, okay, then this is the place to go. And one of the things that I've found more and more as I talk with business people out there about what kind of person are you after, what are you looking for, it has struck me that even today, entry-level employees, while they expect to train you, they expect you to hit the ground running at a certain respect, and that hit the ground running means not only being able to find your way around the company, but being an enterprise thinker, thinking about the company as a whole, and then being able to think about the industry you're in, so that you're operating at full speed within about 18 months to 2 years. Okay, and for most people, when they're in a management training program, whether they know it or not, whether it's a formal one or not, somewhere between 18 months and 2 years, an employer will make some decisions about, particularly large companies, on whether or not you are someone they can promote, and that and someone that they can get ahead. So it's good for you to hear what creative people have to say, to look at those options that are on the table, and hear what they have to say about how they deal with particular problems. And all I can tell you is this: if I were to say, if you're an international management major, international business major, for example, I can tell you that without the cargo container, standardized cargo containers, there would be no international business, or the amount of trade would be so low, it would be unbelievable. So I encourage you to go over and take a look at these. In fact, I'm going to shorten up my remarks today so you have the opportunity to go over and look at these TED Talks. Again, remember, you can read faster than you can listen, and they do have transcripts. And if English is not your first language, it has, I don't know, they'll have probably usually 25 or 30 languages, so you can look at the transcript. And I think it's so important for you to get in the habit of using resources like this. And I think TED it has such fantastic stuff for you to look at. And I really believe the key piece of you, a key thing for you, if you want to be a company owner or you want to be a leader in a company, is to have some inspiration and to have some big ideas thrown at you, or some little ideas that have big consequences thrown at you, and to be thinking in that way, thinking ahead of your next paycheck or what you're going to do for the weekend, but thinking about the industry you're in. How does it affect people's lives? How could we do things better? When a company discovers a person like that, they know they have a winner. And there's no point in investing the money you do in your education, okay, unless you say, okay, I'm going to either create my own company at some point, or I'm going to take someone's company and recreate it for them, or enhance it, or build it, or help build it as an institution. And if you do that, you'll have become a success. So there's some good things here for you to see. And I'm really I think it's important for you to do that. Now, again, I'm not going to give you a quiz on these. I wouldn't insult your intelligence. But if you were to say, Dr. Harmon, does he show you some of the latest thinking in the field? Here it is. Our textbooks are good, okay? And the Loudon textbook that we use for this course, all right, is the gold standard of MIS texts. But there's a lot here that they just simply don't have time to talk about. And these types of resources like TED are really good ones. Now, we're going to go back over here for a second, because I have a few more things we want to do, and we've been going here for about 30 minutes. And I want to show you a few things I've dug up, okay? And this shows you there are three things I've identified for you here that take advantage of two things: cloud computing and the desire of people to engage in mass customization. Now, let me show you something. If you see this just popped up on my screen from the Smithsonian, okay? Here, I've got an RSS feed, rapid syndication service, rapid messaging service that comes to me from Smithsonian. Now, what they like to do is to see what I click on and what I don't. Why? Because Smithsonian doesn't want to just sell me a magazine. They want me at their site. They want me to read their magazine. They want my eyeballs because they have advertisers. And they're with the Smithsonian Institution, okay? And I can change my notification settings, and I'm going to close this because I'm not really interested in looking at it. If I clicked it, it would have taken me there, okay? And this is one of these ways that they're using kind of a push type of approach to engage me. And I'll get one or two of those a day, and they'll say, would you like to look at this? Would you like to look at that? Because they've tracked me and they know I'm a voracious reader. I look at a lot of publications online, so I can stay as current in news and business, as well as just simply have some additional material. I have three things for you here. One is building a car online, okay? The other is to design home software, and let's click on that for a minute. Let's and I don't want to do that. I want to edit this, okay? And so let me click on this. and I'll edit it, edit the title. There we go. That's much better. Now, this is some software where that you can use to design your home. Then here's one to build your own Nike. Now, I thought it would be interesting for us just to talk about building a car online, okay? And before I do that, let me recognize all of you. See, Houston's here, Libby, Robert, Samuel, Shane, and Sanchez, and you are all, as I would say, MIS warriors. Now, let's click on Build a Car Online, okay? And this is Auto by Tel. Maybe you've gone over here and built your fantasy car. Yeah, who knows? Okay. Now, you will observe sometimes that some of the footwear I have, which is not the latest stylings that all of you wear, but I have some footwear that I designed and bought it, and it's K-Swiss, and I know who wears K-Swiss. Well, people like me do. Okay, but they're cool, and I designed those, and I had a good time. Of course, we're going to look at the Nike, but let's look here. We're going to build a car online, and the first thing we do is going to select the make, and let's just do this. I'd say let's look at a Land Rover, okay? Because you want some adventures. You want to take your Land Rover, and maybe you're out in Southwest Oklahoma. You decide to go out through out there. Maybe you decide to go to New Mexico. Maybe go to Arizona. Go out in the mountains. And so a Land Rover is what you need for this, friends. Okay. You want to go on a safari, you got to have a Land Rover. I mean, come on. So, and then, okay, now what would be a good one? Well, there's the Range Rover Velar, there's the Sport, the Evoque, there's the Discovery Sport. Let's do the Discovery Sport because that's a cute little car and vehicle. And let's get a 2017 Discovery Sport. So we're getting a Land Rover, and we're getting a Land Rover Discovery Sport, which is kind of the a trimmed down crossover version of that of that model. Now let's build the car. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's got a 4x4, and there's the base price. Okay. Now, if you go in for a full Land Rover, trust me, you can, or a Range Rover, you go for the full money on those, you can be $100,000 really quick. Okay, and so here's a little ad for the all new Discovery. Now that I've chosen this, look at this down here. Schedule a test drive, and I guarantee if you click on that link, you'll get and provide the information. You will be getting it. Bob Moore, which is the Land Rover dealer in Oklahoma City, will be contacting you very, very shortly. So here we got the base price, colors, total, and if you're interested in getting a quote on that, and you can put in your own zip code. And we've got it. Let's select the trim. And 9-speed automatic transmission. Remember, we talked about the flaps on the wheel. Okay. Engine, a 2.0 turbocharged liter, and 25 miles gallon, 4-wheel drive, and then 4x4. Then you can get the Discovery Sport HSE, which is a little upgraded there. Okay. And then you can get the Discovery Sport HSE Luxury, which now we're into around the $50,000. Okay, and a nice little vehicle. So you select a trim, and let's go all full out and select this trim. Next is the color. Isn't this fun? We can always dream, can't we? And here's a standard exterior colors, and let's look at those. Here's silver metallic. Now here's one I think is interesting. The Aruba. This is called the Waltmo Gray. Here's, I think, a really pretty color. Scotia Gray Metallic. And $569 will get you that one. And so you've got the, look at that. Is that awesome or what? Now, the reason I like it is it's green and it's got 4 wheels. So to me, it looks like a military vehicle. But it's very pretty, and it's also green. It appeals to me because it's a bison color, after all. Okay, so we've chosen that the exterior color, and that's a custom color, and we want an interior color. And so I'd say, well, you could go with the ebony, that trim. I don't know about that. I'd say probably that's glacier. Listen to the titles of these colors: glacier, lunar, Windsor. Okay. Now, look, folks, a Land Rover is the same vehicle that the Queen of England rides in. How could you not want a Land Rover? Do I sound like I'm a little bit nutty about Land Rovers? Yeah, just a hair. So you can select my color, okay? And I'm going to stay with the standard interior, okay? We select the options. Oh boy, look at this. Comfort, climate, a heated windshield, climate front and heated rear seats, a heated leather steering wheel, so if your little bitty paws don't get cold in the wintertime, okay? An entertainment package. I think I've made my point in all the stuff you can do to customize this vehicle, okay? Look at all of this. So you're making all these choices, okay? And while you are, the invoice is building. And so you'd continue on with this. Now, as you go through it, you can find the dealer, and you can see the summary of what you've got, okay? And then there you go. There's your car. Isn't that pretty? Woo, that's nice. That says, I'm not only nice enough to go to church, but if I'm on the way to church and I happen to see just an empty field, and I'm kind of ornery, and I'm a little bit, I think I'm just going across the field. I'm not going to stay on the road. I'll bet that car would whisper in your ear, say, hey, let's go mountain climbing. Let's go rock climbing this weekend. All right. And so that's a real pretty car. And, you can get it's only $45,000. Well, it's 48 grand. Okay. But I think you get my point. And then you can find a dealer, and then they take you to the dealer sites. You can like this on Facebook. You can Twitter to your friends and say, this is what I want for Christmas. Or if you're getting married, you can say, put this on my list of stuff. Contact Bob Moore in Oklahoma City. That's part of my bridal registry. I dare you. Maybe there are people out there that are that well off. Anyway, we built a car, okay? And, would they rather you do this? Of course they would, because if you build the thing and order it, they may have it on the lot. If they don't, trust me, they will build it and they will send it to you, okay? So that's a nice little feature. Let's look at this home design software, okay? And here's, you can create a package. They have galleries. This is, you can go in and you can build your own, you can design your home, okay? And they even have a little community of amateur interior designers building a little kind of social network of people who are all into this stuff. And you can create a project, and let's look at the gallery, see what kinds of stuff people have got. Look at that. Pretty cool. Not bad at all. So it's really pretty. I like that. You could got that pool thing going on there, and you have a little barbecue pit out there. You've got some nice. So if you're interested in that, you can create that. They've got a blog, as I've said before. These social media platforms are a solution looking for a problem. Here's a nice way to do that for interior design and decor blog, okay? And my wife watches HGTV and Property Brothers and all that, like, she is a freak when it comes to that. and she loves that stuff. And I've thought, her favorite, one of her favorite shows is, is the flip, the people down in Waco, that couple are Christians, they buy a house, they redo it, and they show it to people go crazy, etc. So there's some interesting stuff here. Okay. Again, this is part of this idea of mass customization. Okay. And the whole idea of saying, okay, here they talk about, is AI the future of interior design? Yeah. And when you're in here doing the designs, you are using an artificial intelligence tool. You just don't know it. And it has a nice enough GUI, or graphic user interface. This is really a database for all intents and purposes. Well, let's go on back, because we've looked at that, and there's something for you to play around with, okay? And then, of course, let's go to Nike, okay? And we can build your own Nike. Let's go over there to Nike and our friends over there. And these are Nike custom shoes for warriors by you. I like that. That's good. And it's got a Golden State thing going on. Look at that. Woo, aren't those pretty? Isn't that nice? Of course, I'm going to look for those men's and the shoes. And let me see what I want here. I want lifestyle. Okay. And what do they got for me? Woo, look at that. Look at that, my friends. Now, I'll tell you what, if I show up to school in my style, I'm looking good. And hey, they're all $190. I could probably buy 4 or 5 of those this week. I could. Now, Dr. Flint could buy all of these, and I guarantee you Dr. Flint would look good in some of this stuff. Some of these would really complement his suits. Aren't those pretty? Look at that. I like that in different colors. It can match my shirt. This is nice stuff. Okay, and you can choose your size, okay, and get the color that you want. Hey, my friends, this is mass customization. They'll make it for you. Isn't that pretty? That's nice stuff. Now, I got to tell you something. I'm kind of partial to this lunar, although I like the Nike Air Force. That's pretty cool with that leather bottom thing going on. Nice stuff. And I think some of you are probably writing down some Christmas. So here's some old style Converse, okay, from the days of yore. Look at that. Nice. Isn't that pretty? And, again, you can design your own shoes. And if you want to customize, let's see what that's all about. Okay. I can team up. I love it. I can team up. Let me see. What? Okay, if I'm going to team up, what am I going to team up with? And I'm going to click this over. Here's hockey. Oh, wait a minute. I think I saw something caught my. Look at that, my friend. Oh, thunder. Okay, I'm going to get me that thunder thing going on. Let's see what they got for us. Isn't this fun? You never thought MIS would be this much fun, did you? Oh, I didn't. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is looking good. Look at that, my friends. Look at that. They give you the side views. Does that look as cool as it could be? Look at that thunder thing going on. I love that. Now you can edit that design, but I'm telling you what, you can't go wrong with your Nike Air Force One Premium ID Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're only $150. Easily affordable. Okay? So I showed you. Now they know I've been around here, okay? So now here's one place where they messed up. When they're trying to appeal to every NBA fan, which is wrong. They should have a picture for what would be everybody's the face of the franchise of the Thunder, not LeBron. And you put your email address in, your shipping preference, a date of birth, and sign up to get emails about their products. And now they've established their first step of customer intimacy with you. Okay? So I know you will be forever grateful for me having taken you to the site. Maybe there's some of you that have bought these. Now, I want to look at this for just a second as I see hockey, I see basketball. Do they have any Oklahoma Sooner stuff? Collegiate stuff? I'm not seeing that. Oh, that's no good. That's no good at all. So I guess it's just professional people. But as you can see, you know, the Celtics by you, the Thunders, the Warriors, you know, all these different, that's cool looking. Okay, there's the Cavaliers, the Pacers, the Bulls. Look at that. The Bull looking good there. Oh, my goodness gracious. You know, what can I say? Listen, I'm a shoe. I love shoes. And I just saw that one. That was outstanding with the tiger thing going on. Pretty cool. Now, if you've been following college football, if you're a college football fan, you every Thursday, if you go over, I think it's either Thursday or Friday, if you go over to ESPN, you will see the Nike cool uniforms that are being worn by various teams that week. And I have to say, I'm a big Oregon Duck fan, football, simply because they pioneered all this, and I think they got some of the coolest looking uniforms you ever seen. The one team that will not participate is Alabama. They refuse to participate. They say, no, we're an icon. We're not changing anything. Well, okay, we can go. I can go for that. So we've built our own Nikes. We'll close this off. Okay. So a lot going on there. Well, I'll tell you what, it's 2:47. Okay. And I'm gonna issue you a challenge, and here's what I'd like you to do. You've got I started, we've gone 47 minutes. We're supposed to go 75, so that's you need to go about another 28 minutes. So I'd like you to go over and do this. Take a look at one of the TED Talks, okay? And then here's another thing I'd like you to do. Build your own Nike, okay? Or build your own car. And then let's see if you've got it inside you to do this. I created a discussion thread, okay, to put your designs here. It's up here in a discussion thread, okay? And so I'd like you to do a design, then take a screenshot, okay, and put it on a Word doc and put your design up here. Now look, I may or may not assign points for this, but just have some fun and enjoy the course. But while you're doing it, think of all the ways, okay, that you're engaging in mass customization and how that's happening, okay? And this is one of the ways that MIS can be of great value. And you notice as we were there, they wanted to get my information. And you know, once I made a purchase, that whole ERP system would start to hum, and there'd be a financial transaction. There'd probably nothing in HR, but there would certainly be something from the customer relationship management side. Email me, when will my shoes be here, etc. So do the shoes or do the car, okay? Choose your, if you want to do Alfa Romero or one of those brands. I just chose a brand I like, and or so do a car or or do the shoes. If you want to do the home designing thing, do the home design, okay? And there's no, I may or may not give you extra credit for doing this, but it's a challenge. Have you got the courage? Have you got the stuff? Will you do that design? Do a print screen, put it on Word doc, and I'd like to be able to next week go over with everybody and show them what you folks did. Okay? So listen, I'm going to get out of here now because it's give you 25 minutes and a little bit of extra time. Thank you so much. And let me look at the calendar for just a minute because I need to tell you. Now, here's something I'm letting everybody know that's they're in my Wednesday classes. Wednesday, November 1st, is a trip to the dentist for me. And so if you're saying, Dr. Harmer, are you saying that you'd rather be with us and have your teeth pulled? Yeah, okay. Although I know you'd rather have your teeth pulled than be with me. I don't blame you. Look, if you get tired of listening to me, trust me, try living with me, okay? And I have to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, okay? So, hey, life is tough. But on the first, but what I will do is I'll have pre-recorded sessions for you guys to work with. Okay, so I'm going to shut it off now, and I'm looking forward to seeing your designs and getting into mass customization and taking MIS and applying it and having some good time and having some fun. Okay, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and I will see you guys on Monday.